All right. So I hope we're live. Let me check the audio feed. Yeah, audio is good. The audio is good. Okay. So today I wanted to review Yaron Brook show, right? This is the Yaron Brook show. No, that's no, this. Okay. So we're gonna review the Yaron Brook show. This is the channel's name, Yaron Brook. So the name of the podcast episode. Let me turn. No, I'm not gonna turn my phone off. Let me just turn the light on. Okay, so we're gonna review this podcast from. I just watched it. It's from 13 hours ago. So the name is The Left and Hamas, Queers for Palestine, Bloody Hands, River to the Sea. That's the name of the episode. So I'm starting at this point. Until now, he just made administrative announcements. So this is where it starts, hopefully.
All right.
Let me just speed it up a little bit. No, I don't want that. I want playback speed. Let's do 2. He speaks slowly. Let's go.
Let's take this issue on. So here's the puzzle, right? Here's the puzzle. The puzzle is that, the left has gone nuts over Hamas. And there's a certain level of bewilderment, like, I quote in the title of.
Okay. So right away, maybe I'll give you first my intentions in this video. So this video is basically for Mr. Dr. Professor Yaron Brook. He is proposing an analysis of what's going on, specifically vis-a-vis the left and Hamas. As he just stated, the left has gone nuts. The left seems to support Hamas, which seems to be paradoxical. He's going to do a good job explaining the paradox, so I'll let him explain it. And then I'll let him try to resolve the paradox, and I'll show why his solution is a complete failure. And then I'll propose mine, and I'll give evidence, scientific evidence, anthropological and zoological. You'll see. I mean, it's actually kind of deep. It's very sciencey. So let's begin. Let's listen to him. Let me just maybe turn off mute. Did I mute the whole thing? I'm trying to mute. Yeah, it's muted. Okay. That's fine. So let's continue.
The talk here of the show today, queers for Palestine. I mean, they know exactly what happens to queers in Palestine. They know what Hamas thinks of homosexuality. They know what Hamas does to homosexuals. How can queers be for Palestine? These people are not idiots. I mean, they are in a sense, but they're not stupid in the sense, or even to that extent that they don't know what they're advocating for. They know what they're advocating for.
Right. So that's basically the paradox. He will then continue to explain the paradox, but the paradox is very wide. The people that support Hamas. Wait, I didn't mute it. Why is it still making noise? Let me try muting it. I guess I'll just leave this group. But where is this noise coming from? I don't even know. Maybe I'll just close it. I don't even know if you can hear it. Anyway, let's continue. Right. So the left, like queers for Palestine, queers do get executed by the Hamas all the time. Okay. I might have to, as you know, I'm traveling, not in the US right now, so I might have to break this up into different parts, and maybe I'll be able to explain, maybe you'll figure out. Anyway, so it doesn't make any sense, right? The left is behaving in a way that doesn't make any sense. And this is actually the longest episode I've ever seen him do a show on, for over 2 hours, a single show. He usually goes for about an hour, sometimes a little bit over an hour. Um, my phone is very noisy, but I really cannot turn it off because I need the notifications. I'll just turn each one that comes in, I'll just turn it off. So, um, so this is an indication that he is confused. He's unhappy with this show. He went on for a very long time trying to explain, and I think he knows that he doesn't understand. Okay, let's continue listening to him.
So how can they advocate? How can they be for Hamas?
Right, so how could people advocate for people that will kill them? It doesn't make any sense. You're supporting, so the left, the queers of the left. Oh my God, I'm gonna just, should I quit Discord? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna close the disc. Maybe I can mute the Discord tab. Can I mute it? Mute tab. Okay. I'll mute a bunch of tabs. Okay, that should be noise reducing. So how could it be? This is really paradoxical. So, so I mean, he's assuming that people make sense, that people are logical, that people are rational. And then he's saying, well, people are not being rational. What is going on? So he is confused. It doesn't seem to be rational. It doesn't seem that the left is behaving in its own self-interest. Usually people behave in their self-interest. It's not usually, it's always. People always behave in self-interest. People are always self-interested. Sometimes it's difficult to see, but that is the rationality assumption. And he's not, I don't think he believes the rationality assumption. He is, I don't know exactly what he believes, but in this episode, he certainly does not believe in the rationality assumption. So he's saying, yeah, the left is behaving irrationally. The left is behaving against its own interest. Let's continue listening to him.
When Hamas would kill them, literally kill them just for being gay. And this is after decades and decades and decades of gay people, homosexuals in the United States, fighting for their right to marry, for their right to be treated like human beings, as individuals. And now they want to support a cause in the Middle East that is
Right. So in the West, the left is very, it's called the global homo. The right, the extreme right, they call this the global homo agenda. The left is extremely motivated around the global homo agenda. The left, or the cathedral, the elites, the Western elites, they're trying to spread all over the planet their global homo agenda, and especially the far left. The far left, even more so than just the general cathedral, just the general elites. So the left is so invested in the global homo agenda, and suddenly the same left is very pro Hamas, and there is a real conflict here. How could you promote global homo and simultaneously promote Hamas, that is extremely anti the global homo agenda. That's the dilemma.
Is equivalent to the Middle Ages when it comes to homosexuality. So what explains that? That really insanity.
It's real insanity. So he is really perplexed.
But it's more than that. Like, here's a movement, Hamas, an organization dedicated to religion, to a fundamentalist religion, a religion that is, absolutely medieval, that treats women horribly, covers them up, doesn't allow them to go to school, doesn't allow them to work necessarily. Well, they can work in some things. And here is a secular left that claims to be anti-religion and has fought religion, and that is spent a century fighting for women's rights, and has made unbelievable progress in getting women to vote, and in breaking glass ceilings, and in making it possible for women to achieve everything they can achieve today.
Okay, so the first perplexion dilemma is the global homo. How could the left be global homo and also pro Hamas? The second is the feminist agenda. The left is, and the cathedral is very pro global feminism, promoting global feminism, but yet Hamas is not feminist. Hamas is Islamist, Muslimist, whatever, is fundamental Islam, whatever, Muslim. What's the name of the religion? Is Islam Islamist? So Hamas. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if the Hamas is fundamental Islamists. I mean, they might be Islamist. They might be Islamist. But anyway, certainly they're not. I haven't seen any women in the Hamas movement. There's no women. There's no women in their leadership. They're not feminists. They're quite chauvinistic. So how could the left support this chauvinistic movement when the left is very feminist? So that is a contradiction.
So they fought for homosexuals, they fought for women, they're anti-religious, and yet they're supporting a group that's religious, anti-women, anti-homosexual.
You could also say that the left is basically atheistic. The left is atheist, yet Hamas is not atheist. Okay, that would seem to be true.
What is going on here now? Shahzad and somebody else says they're masochists. Okay, maybe ideas drive history, not psychology. So let's think about.
Okay, ideas drive history, not psychology. I don't know. Yeah, that's one of those things that Dr. Yaron Brook believes in. He has these beliefs, they're not scientific. He's not really scientific. He doesn't really like science. He does claim to like science. He is quite sciencey, but he sometimes comes up with these statements, these beliefs that he just proclaims with no evidence, like this one. So Shahzbot is one of the major contributors to this channel. So Shahzbot says, yeah, they're masochists. The left are masochists. I would say then they should be masochists across the board. Masochists in what respect? I mean, we've never seen masochism in the left before, so this alone would be inconsistent. But Yaron doesn't like this theory. That's fine.
Ideas. What could drive this? Somebody says, Ryan says altruism. Yeah, of course. But God, I mean, this is a weird kind of altruism. It's an extraordinary and extreme form. You don't typically.
Okay, so the next theory that someone is presenting, yeah, they're altruists. So I think Yaron is going to give a good argument.
You don't typically see people who've dedicated their lives to a certain cause, in a sense, completely, adopting an alternative, the opposite, a cause that represents the opposite.
I mean, altruism by itself is a complete mess. It's irrational. It's the opposite of rational. I define rational as self-interest, and altruism is the opposite of self-interest. So, it would be inconsistent with science to claim that anyone is an altruist. People might present themselves as altruists, but that's just because they're rational. It's just virtual signaling. Of course, I give to charity. Here, everyone, look at me. I'm giving to charity. That's not altruism. That is actually rational. But in this case, you could say, yeah, they're actually altruists, which is irrational. Anyway, Yaron rejects it because he says that's inconsistent. Even as altruists, it's inconsistent. Anyway, he's going to reject it. He's not going in this direction.
Of what they hold, which is stunning. And it's more than that. While the left periodically engages in violence, most of these leftists would claim to be pacifists, would argue against war, certainly would argue against the killing of civilians, the killing of innocents, the killing of children. They would consider that barbarism. In every context, the left traditionally has been anti-war and anti this kind of barbarism. And even the better people on the left, when they realized what Stalin was doing, they even turned against communism. And here they are confronted with the sheer brutality, barbarism, primitivism of Hamas, raping, pillaging, murdering, beheading.
I don't know if this is true. I mean, usually people are pacifists when they're not in control. So I'm a pacifist. If you come to kill me, then I'm a pacifist. I'm against the use of force. But when I come to kill you, then I'm not a pacifist. What do I care about pacifism? That's rational. To claim that the left is, in general, they are pacifists, I don't think they are. I mean, you see Antifa. Antifa is very violent, and I don't know if I would say that the left is anti-war in general, but fine. Okay.
Adding, burning people, children, women, innocents.
Right. What just took place in Israel around Gaza, that Hamas, it wasn't just Hamas, it was also just general civilians from Gaza came out after the Hamas warriors, terrorists, soldiers, when after they came out, then normal citizens came out and took and kidnapped and did whatever atrocities as well. As far as I know. So let's listen again. Sorry.
And they don't care. In Congress the other day, there was a hearing about aid for Israel. And a group of these leftists showed up and sat in the bleachers, I guess, in the seats behind, and they had their hands covered in red paint. And they were all raising their hands with red on their hands. And, I think they all know what that represents. That represents kill the Jews, kill the Israelis.
I don't think so. I know what he's referring to. It's a story from a couple of years ago that a bunch of Palestinians murdered, like, I think 2 soldiers, and then the guys that did the murdering came out of a window and showed their hands covered with blood. I don't think this is why the protesters did this. I think the protesters are trying to say our hands are covered with blood because we're supporting Israel, and Israel is committing atrocities against the Gaza Palestinians. I think that's what the protesters are trying to say. I think Yaron is reading incorrectly into the protest.
Symbol that spread through the Palestinian world among Palestinians after, I don't know what year.
I don't think it's among Palestinians. I think that was among the Jews in Israel more than Palestinians. I don't think the Palestinians cared that much for that incident of murdering two IDF soldiers, Israeli Defense Force soldiers.
Exactly. But a few years ago,
This is from many years ago. I think this is like 20 years ago.
a couple of Palestinians cornered some Israeli soldiers, dragged them into a house, slaughtered them, killed them, and covered with blood and hands. And he went out in the window, and there were people outside, and he showed them the red hands, and they all cheered and cheering murder. And here were American kids, American leftists, sitting in Congress with red on their hands, raising their hands as if, look, we're ready to kill, we're ready to murder. Look, the heroes.
I doubt it. I doubt that's what they
And of
meant.
course, from the river to the sea, they all understand what that means. The left is being traditionally anti-genocide. Everybody is, I think. But here is a left that, again, claims to be pro-humanity and caring about people and non-violence and all these things.
I don't think the world means murder the Jews by Palestine will be free. They're just saying the Jews should go away from Palestine. Palestine should be for Palestinians, which I think they mean like Arab, Muslim, specifically Muslim Palestinians or just Muslims. Sorry, I need to look at the notifications. Okay. Yeah, he's reading a little bit extra into what people say,
And again, we're not talking about fringe.
which is part of the problem. I think the Jews in Israel, the Jews all over the world are just a little bit exaggerating the problem they're having with what is known as Palestinians. But maybe that's like a different topic. When I'm not gonna go there right now.
We're not talking about like 5 people. We're not talking about Antifa, like a few people who dress up in black and go berserk and commit violence. We're here talking about thousands, hundreds of thousands, potentially millions. We're talking about thousands of university professors at the top universities in America, shouting from the river to the sea, bloodying their hands, supporting Hamas in one way or the other, advocating for violence, advocating for genocide, embracing the rhetoric of genocide, of murder, embracing the idea.
I don't think Palestine, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, is pro-violence. I think it's anti-colonialism. I don't think it's pro-genocide. I don't think people think through the proclamation from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free as genocide. I don't think that's what they have in mind when they say it. I think they're just saying the Jews came to Palestine after World War II. Hold on, I have a phone call I need to take. I need to mute the mic for a second, please hold on. All right, so I'm gonna have to, let me just make sure that the audio is still good. Um, yeah, the audio is good. It's fine. But I'm going to have to, yeah, why can't I hear the audio now? What's going on with the audio? Oh, okay, that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this short. I gotta go. So we'll do this in parts. We have no choice. Um, All right, so it's a good setup for the next part. So the first part that we covered is Dr. Brook is perplexed. He doesn't have a solution to a paradox. He's presenting a paradox. The left is irrational. The left is contradicting its own self-interest. It doesn't make any sense. So what is the answer? Why is the left pro Hamas? It's really strange. I agree that it is strange. And in the next episode, I guess we'll discover what Dr. Brook's solution to this paradox is. And then we'll analyze why it doesn't make any sense. And then I'll present mine and I'll show that mine is a much better resolution of the paradox. All right, everyone. So I'm going to stop here. Thank you. Bye bye.